My beloved child, you are receiving a call from heaven not through sound, but through a deep stirring within your soul. A silent yet irresistible signal is echoing amidst the noise of this world. You are living among hollow applause and eyes eager to judge. I see your smile, but it's a weary one, a mask covering wounds that have never been touched. I see you chasing human validation, while inside, you no longer know who you are. Every rejection, every misunderstanding is like a blade that causes you to shut your heart even tighter. But I am coming not to comfort you gently, but to awaken you with a truth you've long been avoiding. You often ask me to bless and protect you from those who hurt you, but you forget sometimes I do not remove them, for I am using them as a mirror. When someone confuses you, angers you, or offends you, it's not just their fault. It's a signal to look inward. Strong reactions often stem from unhealed wounds, and you cannot overcome what you continue to avoid. I allow them to touch your weaknesses, so you may see how deeply you need me. There will be seasons in your life when you feel misunderstood, rejected, isolated from everything familiar. Do not be quick to think I've abandoned you. I'm setting you apart not to punish, but to purify. Broken relationships, closed doors, unanswered prayers, they are all within my hands. For if you are constantly surrounded by noise, you will never hear my voice. I want to meet you in the secret place where no one else can interfere. A place where it's just you and me. You once thought being chosen was a sweet honor, but the truth is, it comes with loneliness, misunderstanding, and battles within that no one sees. I did not form you to fit in, I made you to be different. And it is that very difference that draws opposition. Do not seek comfort in conformity, for you have been set apart. You were not created to fit the mold of this world, but to reflect my image among its shattered pieces. And your light will always unsettle those who choose to remain in darkness. My dear child, I see your heart unravel over a passing glance or a careless word. You take it home, bury it deep, and let it grow into a verdict against yourself. Your mind spins like a broken wheel, replaying that moment, that voice, that fear. What are they thinking about me? But child, I did not design your mind to be a prison. I gave it as a gift to discern between good and evil, not to trap you in uncertainty. When you become too focused on others' opinions, you begin to lose sight of how I see you. Sometimes a stray comment keeps you awake all night. You imagine them whispering, judging, turning away. Scenarios that haven't even happened become so vivid that they begin to shape your actions, your emotions, even your faith. You withdraw, shrink yourself, change who you are just to please something that may not even exist. But child, it is not others' words that steal your peace. It is how you let those words grow within you. I want you to learn this. Not everything that echoes is truth, and not every silence is rejection. You're spending too much time in the shadowy land of assumptions, where the enemy sows seeds of doubt into your smallest thoughts. It whispers, they don't love you. They're looking down on you. They're talking behind your back, and you believe it. But I am not like that. I always speak truth. I never whisper condemnation in the night. My voice is gentle, yet unwavering. So when you hear something that leaves you afraid, sleepless, exhausted, ask yourself, did this come from my Father? If not, lay it down. Do not cling to what I never placed in your hands. I remember Elijah, the mighty prophet, who once crumbled under the weight of his own fears. After a glorious victory on Mount Carmel, he ran in terror from Jezebel's threat. He thought he was alone, believed no one was faithful anymore, assumed all had turned away. But do you know what I told him? I have kept for myself 7,000 who have not bowed to Baal. What Elijah believed was not the truth. He had been deceived by his own emotions and assumptions. And the same is true for you. Dear one, many of your fears are lies nourished by your own insecurities. You don't need to understand everything people think about you. In fact, most of the time, they aren't thinking about you at all. They're too caught up in their own worries. Don't let human eyes or words define your worth. You were not born to live under the shadow of speculation, but in the light of truth. And the truth is this: you are loved, chosen, and fully known by me. That is the truth I want you to hold on to, especially when you begin to spiral over something that seems small. Because to me, you are anything but small, my beloved child. I see how hard you've tried to be heard, only to be met with silence, indifference, or cold rebuttals. Each time, you retreat within, asking yourself cutting questions. Am I not good enough? Am I too invisible? Why can't they understand me? And then, you begin to doubt your own worth, as if others' silence is proof that you're not worth loving. But child, I need you to stop, because you are letting the world's rejection drown out my affirmation. People may not understand you, because they only see the surface, but I see the depths of your soul. They may ignore the pain you hide, but I am holding every tear you've cried. You do not need the attention of everyone to be valuable. You are valuable not because someone applauds you, but because you belong to me. The world rewards success, charm, and eloquence, but I look at faithfulness. At every moment you chose forgiveness. Every time you remained silent, not from weakness, but from love. You have not been abandoned. You are being hidden. Hidden, so I may shape you in secret before bringing you into the light. There will be moments when you feel lost even while standing in a crowd. They laugh, connect, blend, and you feel like an outsider. Unseen, unknown. I know that feeling well for my son. Jesus felt it too. He was the Holy One, the living Word, and yet when he spoke truth, they called him demon-possessed. When he preached love, they picked up stones. When he gave his very life, they turned away. But that didn't diminish his worth, and what you are enduring now doesn't lessen yours in my eyes. I did not create you to fit into everyone's expectations. I created you to reflect my very image. And light is always opposed by darkness. The more true and honest your life becomes, the more likely it is to be misunderstood. But do not be afraid, I will be your witness. I will rise and speak for you at the appointed time. Your task is not to chase recognition, but to remain faithful to what I have called you to be. Human approval is fleeting, but my affirmation is eternal. So, when you feel isolated, remember, perhaps I am pulling you away from the crowd to speak with you alone. When others turn their backs, my arms are open. When no one seems to understand you, know that you are fully known by me. You don't need to be seen in the noise, you only need to kneel in the secret place. And I will give you a name no one can take away, my beloved. And you will learn to stand alone, not because you are forsaken, but because you are covered by my presence. My beloved child, I see how you try to appear strong while your heart is breaking. You hide your tears. Your smile is a fragile mask, covering the many times you've fallen with no one to tell. You believe that if I see any crack, I will withdraw from you. You think that only when you are perfect, full of faith, fervent, and holy, only then will I be pleased. But child, it is precisely when you are broken that I draw closest. I do not wait for you to be strong before I love you. I have loved you right in the middle of your ruin. You don't have to hide from me. I am not repelled by your wounds. I only grieve when you try to bear them alone. When you fall, when you fail, when you can't seem to do what's right, that is not when I turn away. That is when I open my arms, like a father who sees his little one fall, not to scold or rebuke, but to run and lift them up. So it is with me. Every time you are weak, I am not disappointed. I am waiting for you to return, dusty hands and all, with a heart still longing for me. I know there are wounded places within you that you don't dare to face, old memories, buried failures, sins that make you lower your head. You fear that if you uncover them, you won't be able to bear it. Or worse, that I would reject you. But my dear one, I do not reject you. It is in that very place, where you are weakest, that I long to enter. Light does not shine where all is already perfect. It comes to pierce the darkness. Healing doesn't begin when you hide, but when you are honest. I do not need your performance. I need your heart, even if it trembles, even if it's full of doubt, as long as it still longs for me. Do you remember the woman caught in adultery who was brought before Jesus? The crowd wanted to stone her. They saw sin, but I saw a soul in need of forgiveness. When everyone walked away and only I remained with her, it was in that moment mercy triumphed over judgment. I did not say, "Be strong, then come to me." I said, "Neither do I condemn you. Go, and sin no more." You see, I do not compromise with sin, but neither do I destroy the broken. My love not only lifts you up, it covers you when you can't stand on your own. So, my child, do not feel ashamed when you are broken. Brokenness does not make you lesser. It makes you real. I am not looking for perfect people. I am looking for hearts that are willing to open. Every time you feel you are not enough, remember, my grace is always more than enough. And you do not come to me because you are good enough. You come because you need me. That is where true love begins, not on the mountaintop of righteousness, but in the valley of weakness. And I am there, with mercy that never runs dry for you. My beloved, I see you living as if every step needs the world's approval. Your eyes constantly glance around, as if others are the mirrors that define you. You smile though your heart doesn't want to. Speak the right things to avoid rejection. Do what pleases others just to be accepted, all because of a deep yearning, "Please accept me." But child, when your heart is driven by people's approval, you will never know true peace. For human hearts are fickle. Emotions rise and fall. Today they cheer. Tomorrow they go silent. You'll stay trapped in an endless cycle if you live to be liked. I did not create you to please the crowd. I created you to obey me, even if that means standing alone in this world. You may be loved by all and lose yourself, or be misunderstood and rejected, yet still keep your integrity in me. The world will always give conditions. If only you change a bit, if you're less different, if you meet this standard, but I am not like that. I loved you before you tried to be right. I called you not to blend in, but to stand out, not in pride, but because you bear the mark of another kingdom. When you live to please others, You will continually compromise truth, compromise values, and sometimes even silence your inner calling. I see how you've kept quiet when you needed to speak, nodded in agreement when your heart protested, smiled when you wanted to cry, all because you were afraid of being left out. But child, no approval is worth the cost of your soul. The approval I give doesn't come from your performance or your image. It flows from real communion. You don't need to contort yourself to fit. You only need to stand firm in truth. Remember Joseph, the one despised by his brothers, misunderstood, even sold away for the very dreams I gave him. If Joseph had lived for their approval, he would have abandoned the dream at the first mockery. But because he remained faithful, even when rejected, even in prison, I raised him up to shepherd a nation. You see, human approval is fleeting, but my affirmation can change a life forever. The real question is not who loves or hates you, but whether you're walking the path I've shown you. Child, there may come a time when you are excluded from friendships, from opportunities, from circles you long to belong to, but don't be afraid. Exclusion is not always loss. Sometimes it is deliverance. I will never let you leave behind something precious without giving you something better in return. Don't live to be liked, live to be true. For I do not see you through likes, praise, or networks. I see you through the truth you hold. And if you hold fast to that truth, you will never be shaken. You do not belong to the world, you belong to me. And that is enough, my beloved. I know there are people who have hurt you so deeply that even hearing their names causes your heart to tighten. There are wounds you've never dared to touch, not because you forgot, but because the pain still lingers. Each time the memory surfaces, you turn away, deviate into distractions, anything to avoid remembering. You think that if you don't think about it, it will disappear on its own. But child, what you try to avoid will continue to rule you in the shadows. I do not want you living in fear or imprisoned by the past. I want you to be free, truly free. You are not the only one who has ever run. In Scripture, Jonah also tried to flee from what I asked of him, out of fear, pain, prejudice. I told him to go to Nineveh to deliver my message, but he boarded a ship and went the opposite direction. He didn't want to face those he couldn't love. I didn't believe they deserved my grace. But do you know, it was in the belly of the fish, the darkest, most suffocating place, that he prayed and realized running didn't lighten the burden. It only prolonged the pain. I brought him back to face what he fled, not to shame him, but to fulfill what I had placed in him. I see you taking similar detours, not on a ship like Jonah, but through work, social media, fleeting relationships, momentary pleasures, all so you don't have to face yourself. You search for temporary comfort, but your soul still feels empty when the laughter fades. What you've used to numb the pain, whether success, entertainment, even service, cannot mend a wound that hasn't been healed. I don't give you painkillers. I want to heal the root. You don't need to run anymore. I'm waiting for you, not at the end of your escape route, but at the moment you're willing to turn back and say, Lord, I'm tired. I am not ashamed of your brokenness. I come to stitch every torn place, to wipe away every tear, to remind you, what you need is not to forget, but to be healed. And that healing doesn't come from avoiding those who hurt you, but from letting me enter that wound, hold you, and restore you from within. Child, let me lead you to the places you've avoided, not to wound you again, but to bring you out with your head held high, your heart lightened, and your story transformed. Those who hurt you do not define you, but your response to them can shape your spiritual journey. Don't run anymore. I am holding your hand, and when you choose to face it, you'll know you're not walking alone. I am healing you, step by step. My beloved, I am listening to you right now. I see your heart like a sky heavy with gray clouds, burdened by unanswered questions, unnamed fears, and fading dreams. You feel lost at a crossroads, unsure whether to turn left or right, to stop or keep going. You've tried so many times to plan carefully, to build everything with your whole will and heart, yet somehow, things don't go as hoped, and in a moment, all you've worked for seems to collapse. You feel weary, doubtful, and perhaps you've blamed yourself for not being good enough, strong enough, worthy enough. But my child, I do not see you the way you see yourself. I do not wait for you to get everything right before I draw near. I have already come, and I am still here, even in your weakest moments. I see every time you try to keep going, even when everything inside you wants to give up. I see the mornings you wake up with sorrow in your eyes, yet still choose to press on. I see you, not through the lens of what you've achieved or failed to do, but through the heart that faithfully clings to goodness, even when surrounded by brokenness. You think you're invisible, but to me, you are a precious treasure. There are nights when you lie still, eyes wide open staring at the ceiling, and in your heart rages a silent dialogue. What now? God? Did I take the wrong path? Are you still there? You don't dare speak those questions aloud, fearing they count as doubt. But my child, I am not angry when you are weak. I am not surprised when your faith wavers. I am the one who formed your heart. I understand every layer of emotion, every corner of fear, every hidden part you try to conceal. And I do not come to condemn you for moments of weakness. I come to take your hand when you no longer have the strength to hold on to mine. You think you must be strong, must stay in control, must have all the answers. But child, that is not what I require of you. I did not call you to carry burdens like a hired servant. I called you as my child, and you don't have to prove anything to be held in my embrace. You don't need to know what the future holds. You only need to know that I am the one who never leaves. I have already seen everything you are facing, and still, I chose you. I love you, and I walk with you, just as I did from the beginning. I know you're holding it all together, afraid that if you let go, everything will fall apart. But my dear one, what you are holding on to might be what is holding you back. Perhaps in this journey, the one thing you need to release is the belief that you have to manage it all on your own. It may be that when you finally stop, surrender, weep, and say, I can't do this anymore, that is when you are actually stepping into the safest place. My arms, you don't know the future, but I do. You can't see the road ahead, but I have gone before you, and I will not let you take a single step without me beside you. You have prayed, sometimes with words, sometimes with tears soaking your pillow. There are nights no one knows about, but I do. There are cries of, please come, that rise only in your heart, but I hear them clearly. I have gathered every tear, cherished every weary breath you take day by day. Nothing about you is too small or insignificant in my eyes. I do not overlook the pain you haven't told anyone. I do not close my ears to the fear you hide in silence. You are not invisible, not for a moment. Do not believe that the turmoil you're facing is proof that I'm no longer with you. In truth, it is in the gray areas, in the uncertain places, in the moments you feel most lost, that I am shaping you the most. I do not lead you into the unknown to abandon you. I lead you there so you may learn to recognize my voice, not through circumstance or emotion, but through a presence that is steady and unshakable. You will no longer rely on outward things to affirm that I am real, because I will write my words upon your heart, like a lamp shining in the darkest night. Sometimes I don't remove the storm right away because I am using that very storm to uproot what no longer belongs in you. It could be dependence, pride, or misplaced trust in people. I do not condemn you when you go astray. I correct in love. And that correction sometimes comes in the form of failure, loss, or silence. But if you are willing to be still, you will sense in the quiet a gentle heartbeat. I am still here. Islash. You don't have to pretend you're okay. You don't need to wear the mask of peace. I see through every facade. And I love you truly. I love even the parts of you you're too afraid to show anyone. I do not love the polished, perfect version you try to uphold. I love you, whole, unedited, and all you need to do is come close. Not with hands full of good deeds, not with a resume of achievements, just with an honest heart. I don't ask you to come when you're ready. I call you to come even in your brokenness. So even if the present feels unclear, you are not alone. Even if your mind is spinning, I remain unchanged. Even if you cannot grasp tomorrow, I am still holding your whole life in my hands. Lay down your burdens. Let me carry what you cannot. And when you are too tired to pray, when words fail, just whisper my name, Jesus. I will come. No delayed. Not distant. I will come, just as I promised, because you are mine. And my love does not withdraw when you are weak. It does not lessen when you go astray. It does not fade when you fall silent. It is a fire that cannot be extinguished, an eternal love, firm as a rock, strong enough to hold you through every storm. Come closer to me. I am waiting, not to judge you, but to embrace you, not to ask what you've done, but to remind you, just being you, that is enough. My beloved. Don't be quick to condemn yourself for being tired, for hesitating at times, or for wondering whether you can keep going. Weariness does not make you weak, in my eyes. It makes you real. Real in your limits. Real in your confusion. Real in those moments when you cannot find a single word to pray, except for the heavy silence of a breaking heart. I don't need you to always be strong. I only need you to be honest. I do not demand perfect faith. I long for a heart willing to surrender, even when it is bleeding. You are not lost in the night. No matter how thick the darkness, my eyes are still fixed on you. You think I've left because you no longer feel my presence, but listen. There are seasons when I stay silent not to ignore you, but to teach you to trust me, even when you cannot see, hear, or touch. That is not abandonment, that is faith being refined. And I am there, not behind, not ahead, but right beside you. Quietly, firmly, unwaveringly. I know you've tried so hard to keep everything under control. You plan, organize, calculate each step, hoping things will go smoothly. But when your plans fall apart, you're not just confused. You feel like a failure. You look at others, they seem more successful, more stable, more loved and accepted. And you begin to wonder, what's wrong with me? But child, you're looking in the wrong direction. You are measuring yourself by the standards of people I never called you to imitate. Every story I write is unique, and no one else has a life chapter like yours. No one walks the same path as you. I am not late, and I do not forget. What I have promised will be fulfilled right on time. When you feel like you're falling behind, remember, you may not be left behind, but rather being held back. Perhaps the door hasn't opened, not because it's permanently closed, but because I am preparing the path within you, so that when it does open, you will step through, not in panic, but with confidence. What you're waiting for is not just a change in situation, but a transformation from within. Sometimes I delay not because I am withholding good from you, but because I am protecting you from what is not yet ready. You often fear that you've stepped off the path I planned for you, as if one wrong move could cause all good things to leave you forever. But hear this, my grace is vast enough to bend even the detours back into the center of my will. No road you've taken is wasted, even the ones you thought were mistakes. I am the one who turns ashes into beauty, who can use what the enemy meant for harm as the very platform to lift you up. And if you are willing to give me each broken fragment of your shattered dreams, I will shape them into something better than you ever imagined. There are quiet pains you've never voiced. You live among others, laughing, working, serving, but part of your heart still feels empty. I see that. I do not only see what you do, I see who you are. You don't have to do something special to catch my eye. As long as you are breathing, as long as you exist, as long as you carry the breath I placed in you, that alone is enough for me to love you with an unchanging love. And no matter how far you may stray, my call for you to come home never fades. It still echoes, gentle yet fierce, waiting for your return. Not in perfection, but in sincerity. I do not want you to pretend you're okay, or that you have all the answers. I only want you to be honest with yourself and with me. When you cannot pray, just whisper, Jesus. When you don't know what to say, simply come and be still before me. I don't need eloquent words. I seek a surrendered heart, and in that surrender, I will reveal what you have never seen, that I am not the one waiting for your failure to punish you, but the one who steps into the chaos to take your hand. You may not see the path yet, but that does not mean there is no way. I am the way. When your eyes are blurred by tears, let faith guide your steps. When your mind is clouded by the noise of the world, let my voice be the loudest one. When you cannot rely on your emotions, lean on my word, for my word never changes. Your feelings will rise and fall. People will come and go, but I am everlasting. I am the anchor for your soul. Even when storms rage, even when all you trusted seems to crumble, because when all else fades, I remain and you are still my beloved. My little one, I have never required you to be good enough to draw near to me. It is your brokenness that brings you closer to me than anything else. The moments you feel like a failure are not the end. They are an invitation to begin again. With me. Don't let the fear of being left behind cause you to give up. Don't let delays make you forget what I promised. I am not human that I should forget what I've spoken. And you are never too far gone for me to heal. I am the Alpha and the Omega, and if I haven't spoken the final word, then you are not yet defined. So release your grip on what you're trying so hard to hold together. Let me lead you into places you never imagined yourself worthy to enter. You do not need to chase after human approval or prove anything, just walk with me. One small step, one faithful breath at a time, and you will see. What I have prepared for you does not depend on your perfection, but on my faithfulness. I am still writing your story, not by the world's pace, but by the rhythm of my heart. And if you listen closely, you'll sense it. I have never stopped loving, never stopped calling, never stopped leading you. No matter how you feel, the truth remains, you are still mine, and nothing can take that from you. No circumstance, no person, no darkness can strip away your place in my heart. You belong to me, and that truth is stronger than any feeling you carry today. Rest in that. Let my peace, not the pressures of life, be the foundation for your next steps. And when you give me your weakness, I will give you strength not from within yourself, but from the one who has called you, who loves you, and who will never leave you. My precious child, sit down and let your heart be still for a moment. I know time has made you impatient, made you feel left behind as others seem to move faster, succeed earlier, find their way ahead. I see the moments you compare yourself, the way your eyes drop as you quietly wonder, Lord, have you forgotten me? Did I miss your timing? But child, I have not forgotten. I am not slow as humans perceive slowness, and I do not use mankind's clock to fulfill my eternal plans. You are living in a hurried world where everything is measured by productivity, speed, and milestones. But child, sacred things do not grow in haste. A holy seed cannot blossom in hurried soil. What I have planted in you needs time to take root, needs hidden seasons to grow in secret. Others may be harvesting, blooming, while you are still tending in the quiet. But remember, I do not measure you by your results. I measure you by your faithfulness in the unseen days. Silence is not absence. Delay is not denial. You may not hear me, but child, I have never stopped working. When you think I'm silent, I am in fact rearranging things you cannot yet comprehend. I am shifting the unseen, preparing the way, moving hearts, laying each brick carefully in anticipation of the moment when my faithfulness will break forth like dawn. You've wondered, do I need to do more? Do I need to strive harder to be worthy of the promise? But child, I do not bless you because you are strong enough. I bless you because I love you. My faithfulness is not rooted in your perfection. It is rooted in the eternal covenant sealed by the blood of my Son. What you are waiting for is not in your hands, it is in mine. And mine are the safest hands. When every door before you seems to close, no, this is not an end, but a protection. Some doors I do not open because I love you too much to let you enter unprepared. You only see the door, but I see what's behind it. I know what would hold you back and what could destroy you. So when I close a door, don't keep knocking on it with your tears. Trust that I am leading you to the right one, the one where you won't have to trade your peace, shrink to fit, or compromise your worth to stay. And child, my angels surround you, though unseen. They are fighting not for fleeting wealth, but to preserve the peace you're on the verge of losing. They do not rest, because the promise I've spoken over you is a battle in the spiritual realm, and I will not let you fight alone. When you grow weary, I lift you up. When doubt fills your heart, I do not scold, draw near, closer than the whispers within you. close enough that a single cry from your heart stirs me to move. You have asked me, Lord, what should I do? And here is what I want you to remember like a whisper from the Father's heart. You do not have to strive to control everything. You are not the one in charge. Let your heart rest. Let your hands fall for a while, so mine can lift you up. Resting in me is not giving up. It is an act of faith. To rest is to know that your Father is still working, even when your eyes cannot see it. You're weary from trying to get everything right, from straining to hear my voice through all the noise. But child, my voice is not found in hurry. It comes in stillness like a gentle breeze at noon. If you keep running, searching, rushing, you'll miss it. But if you pause, lift your eyes, and whisper, I still believe, Father, I will answer, in my own way. At the perfect time you could never create on your own. I am making the way clear for you. I am untangling every knot. I am opening new things, not because you demanded it, but because this is the time I have chosen, and when that time comes, you won't need to push, won't need to force the door. It will open so gently that you'll know no one but God could have done this. So, my beloved, don't judge my plan by the rhythm of this world. Look into my eyes where there is no panic, no rush, only assurance, love, and the reminder you are not forgotten. The plan for you is still being written. Be still and know that I am God, the one who is never late and never absent. Let your heart rest. Everything good I've promised I will fulfill, and I will not stop until you step fully into it in peace. Enjoy in my light. My dear child, I know your heart once held so much hope, trusted so deeply, and clung tightly to what you believed was good for you. There were people in whom you placed your full trust, relationships into which you poured your whole heart, dreams you cherished like treasures. But then, some things faded. Some people left. Some doors closed without explanation. I hear the silent sighs caught in your chest as you try to act like you're okay, though inside, you're breaking. You don't understand why I allowed it. You wonder if you did something wrong. But child, I want you to know, not all that is lost is truly a loss. Sometimes, it is deliverance. You will never lose what is truly yours if you choose to remain in me. What I've destined for you, no one can steal, but to receive the new. Sometimes you must release the old, not because the old was evil, but because it no longer fits the journey we're on together. Some things were once a blessing, but are now a burden. Some people were once an encouragement, but now lead you astray. I do not take away without purpose. I am pruning and clearing, so you can bear more fruit. Fruit that will last. Remember what I've said. I am the vine, and you are the branches. A branch cannot live apart from the vine, and it cannot bear fruit without pruning. Pruning is always painful. You feel the sting of loss, the ache of emptiness, as if a familiar part of you has been stripped away. But child, that empty space is not meant to stay empty. It is the room I am making for something new, and nothing in me is ever wasted. I will not let you hurt, only to abandon you in that place. Every time I remove something, I place something better in its stead, not better by your definition, but by what I know you truly need. I see your heart still confused by unanswered prayers, forgotten dreams, and days where you feel like you're walking through dry wilderness. without a path. You asked for maturity, and I answered with trials. You asked for clarity, and I gave you silence so you could learn to listen more deeply. You asked for peace, and I allowed you to face your fears so you could see. True peace doesn't come from calm circumstances, but from knowing I am with you in the storm. Sometimes, in order for you to grow, I must allow the things you love to pass away, not because they weren't precious, but because a greater love awaits ahead. Do not grieve over what I am refining. Do not cling to what I have allowed to fall away. Relationships, opportunities, plans if they no longer bear fruit. I will clear them so you won't waste your strength tending to what is no longer of use. And what I send in their place will not only fit you, will be made whole. But that will only come when you dare to open your hands. I see you trying to hold on to what has grown old, not because you don't trust me, but because it has become familiar. Familiarity gives a sense of safety, even when it limits you. But my beloved, you were not made to dwell in safety. You were called to live in faith. In that place, you won't always know the next step, but you will always know who I am, and I am faithful. I do not only know the destination, I am the one who leads. If you walk with me, you will never be lost. Even when you feel lost, my heart is guiding your every step. You are stepping into a new season, and with this new season, some old things must come to a close. Not everyone is meant to walk with you to the end of the journey. Some are sent only for a time to teach you something, to reflect something back to you, or even to test your faith. When their role is complete, I will remove them from the stage of your life. Do not cling when I have released. Your faithfulness is not to be placed in people, but in me. I know who needs to stay, who needs to go, and what time is best. All you need to do is obey. If you keep holding on to what I have taken away, you will block the flow of blessings I have prepared. Do not worry about whether you can live without it. Trust that if your soul truly needed it, I would have let it remain. If I have taken it, it means you have lost nothing that serves my purpose. Letting go is not failure. Letting go is faith. It is believing that I am holding you, even when your hands hold nothing at all. My beloved child, if your heart still aches over what I have taken, bring that very pain to me. Don't hide your sorrow. I want to see it, to hear it, to heal it. I do not overlook your tears. I collect every drop. And when you sit in the silence of hopes deferred, I am breathing new life into them. You may think it's dead, but I am the one who raises the dead to life. Your dreams are not forgotten. I am simply continuing them in ways you never imagined. Keep walking not by your own strength, but in faith that my hand upholds every step you take. Keep believing not because everything is clear, but because you know I will never leave you. And keep releasing, not because you've given up hope, but because you choose to hope in the greater thing I am bringing. You are not being left behind. You are being prepared. And what I am preparing for you, no ear has heard, no eye has seen, nor has it entered the thoughts of man, is what I have reserved for those who love me, and who dare to trust in my hand, even when nothing can be seen ahead. You are ready. Let me lead you into this new season, breath by breath, heartbeat by heartbeat, day by day with me, for I am yours, and you are mine, complete, without loss, without doubt, without regret. Only love remains everlasting and unshakable. My precious one, I know your heart is troubled. I feel every heavy breath as you try to calm yourself with silence. I see the unspoken questions, the thoughts you hide even from those closest to you. I know you don't want to burden anyone. I don't want to be a weight, so you endure quietly, trying to stay strong, trying to hold it all together. But my child, I never called you to be strong on your own. The peace you need does not come from control. It comes from surrender. Surrender to me. I see you wrestling with well-laid plans. Each goal, each detail, you want everything to go exactly as you envisioned. And when it doesn't, you feel lost, disoriented. But child, if you must control everything, where is faith? If all is within your reach, what space remains for trust? I do not lead you so that you might depend on your plan. I lead you so you might walk by faith in me, the one who never changes. I've seen you struggle with nameless fears, sleepless nights over situations that haven't happened yet in your mind. They are already disasters. Your mind is a battlefield where every word spoken, every glance, every subtle implication becomes a wound, and you carry them home, quietly clutching them without opening your heart to me. You fear I'll be disappointed. But no, my child, I am not disappointed in you. I only long for you to stop fighting alone. I want you to come not in perfection, but in honesty. I don't need a put-together you. I need a heart that simply says, I need you. Father, true strength is not found in never falling, but in rising again and turning toward me each time you do. You have nothing to prove to me. You don't need to be better, more stable, or more mature in order to be held. I loved you before you ever thought to love me back. My love did not begin with your success, and it is not born of your worthiness. It flows from my very nature, and that love is the one thing that cannot be shaken by failure, emotion, or circumstance. You've grown used to striving to prove yourself, to earn your place. Since childhood, you've learned to tense up just to be seen. But with me, you don't need to hold it all together anymore. You're allowed to be weak. You're allowed to sigh. You're allowed to say, I can't, because I am the one who can. I do not seek your independence to measure your value. I seek your surrender, so I may act on your behalf. For the sooner you lay your burdens at my feet, the sooner you will walk lighter, in step with my call. There are days when you try so hard that you exhaust yourself and still feel defeated by the lack of results. But I want you to know, fruit does not come from striving, but from obedience. More effort does not guarantee more blessing. More exhaustion does not prove greater love. I do not bless the way the world rewards. I bless not by condition, but by mercy. My hands do not give reluctantly, I give from a wide open heart. In the wise timing, I know you need. My blessings are not shallow, they do not shatter under pressure. What comes from me will endure through storms, withstand the testing of fire, and stand firm in truth. You do not need to fear that one moment of weakness will forfeit what I've given. You don't need to tremble at every misstep. I am the Father of mercy, and I know full well that you are made of dust. But I also know that within that dust, I breathed my life. You are fragile, but in me, you are strong. You are delicate, but in my hands, you are secure. There's one thing I want you to learn. Do not let fear lead you. Do not let anxiety become the loudest voice in your mind. The what-ifs are not prophecy, they are snares the enemy uses to entangle you in unrest. But I am the faithful counselor. I do not speak in panic, I speak in peace. When all the voices within are clamoring for your attention, be still for a moment and listen for mine. It is the voice that does not condemn you, but reminds you you are never alone. When your mind begins to create the worst-case scenarios, when fear casts shadows over every decision, run to me, not with rituals, but with sincerity. Just one cry, Father, and I will answer. One fragile breath, help me, and I will come. No eloquence needed. No perfect reason, only a heart that calls out, for I have been waiting for you not for your perfection, but for your openness. You were never meant to be the savior of your world. That is not your role, it is mine. You were not created to carry everything that weighs on you. I called you to walk with me, not behind. Not forgotten, but beside me. My yoke is easy. My burden is light, not because it bears no weight, but because when you carry it with me, I bear the heaviest part. And I don't want to do this just once. I want to do it every day. And you will learn, little by little, that walking with me is not a journey of striving but of surrender. You will see that the more you release what you cannot control, the closer you come to freedom. Freedom is not the absence of burdens. It is no longer carrying them alone. And you will realize, peace does not come from the world changing around you, but from your heart being anchored in me, steady amidst the ever-changing world. So, my beloved, let me be your refuge. When the winds rise, when the storm breaks, when what you trusted begins to shake, run to me. I will hold you. I will speak what you need to hear, and I will never leave. For I am not just your beginning, I am the place you can always return. No matter how far you go, how long you wander, I am still waiting, never weary. I am your peace. I am your strength when you are weak. I am the place you lean when the world grows heavy. And you are the one I have chosen to love without condition. Believe that, live in that, and return whenever you forget. I am always here, and I always will be. My child, I see your heart is being pulled in many directions. The plans left unfulfilled, the dreams still unfinished, the decisions that seemed right, yet now leave you questioning yourself. I see them all. I've watched you lie awake at night, afraid of taking a wrong step. I've seen you count the days, wondering, why hasn't it happened the way I hoped? I know you've poured in so much effort, prayed with all your sincerity, and still, all you've heard is silence. But, my child, silence does not mean I am not working. Sometimes, it is within the stillness that my greatest work is unfolding, not outwardly, but within you. I am neither late, nor have I forgotten. I simply will not hand you something great when your heart is not yet ready to hold it. A blessing that comes too early can become a burden if it outweighs the depth of your inner life. I love you far too much to let that happen. I do not want to see you attain what you long for, only to lose yourself, because your roots in me are not yet deep enough. You may be waiting for a door to open, but I'm looking deeper. I'm asking, when the door opens, will you walk through with gratitude or with pride, with wisdom or with the fear of having to hold everything together on your own? You've thought that delay was punishment. But no, my child, it is protection. There are things I withhold, not because you haven't tried hard enough, but because I am doing something deeper in your soul. I am shaping you to become someone who can carry the weight of the glory I am preparing. For what I have for you is not just a good thing, it is the best thing. Something no one can steal from your hands once you walk in spiritual maturity. You are not merely heading toward a destination, You are being formed into a person whose heart reflects me. Perhaps you're still wondering in your heart, but what if I've made a mistake? What if I've taken a wrong path? My child, I am not only the one who maps the way, I am also the one who guides through every unexpected turn. Even when you stray, I know how to lead you back. With me, no step is wasted. I can use even your missteps to teach you wisdom and turn dead ends into doorways to something greater. Do not fear failure anymore. The only thing I ask of you is not perfection, but trust. If your heart is turned toward me, then even if your steps falter, I will hold you steady. You've fallen before, and you've blamed yourself more times than you can count. You think I'm disappointed, but I've never taken my eyes off you. Not for a single moment. I see the things you dare not say to anyone, the times you pretend to be fine while your heart is weary. You feel guilty for being weak, for being confused, for not holding on to strong faith the way you once did. But my child, faith is not the absence of trembling. It is clinging to me, even when your hands shake. I am not looking for perfection. I'm looking for an honest heart, for a soul that knows it needs me. I am gently touching the places of pain you've hidden for so long. Wounds you thought had healed, but were only buried beneath the noise, beneath fleeting conversations, beneath the armor of strength you wear. But deep inside, the bleeding has not stopped. And I have come not to expose you, but to heal. Healing does not come through noise, nor through shallow encouragements. It comes in the stillness, in the moment you let your heart quiet. Take a deep breath and whisper to me, Lord, I'm tired. That's all I need. And I will begin to move. I am softening the parts of you that grew hardened by pain. I am quieting the voices inside you that say you're not enough, not strong enough, not fast enough, not good enough. You have nothing to prove to me. Just come close and let me do the rest. The restoration I offer is not a fresh coat of paint over old cracks. It is renewal from the root. I will not let you enter a new season with a heart still torn. I will mend it layer by layer with patience, with love, and with a power no one else can imitate. You will see when I complete what I'm doing within you. You won't feel the need to grasp so tightly anymore. You will know how to let go, because you trust that my hand is strong enough to hold you. You won't live in fear anymore, wondering, will I lose this? Am I worthy? Because you will understand, what comes from me will also be kept by me. You don't need to keep performing. You are free to be fully yourself, loved, healed, forgiven, and chosen. And when the time comes, when the door I've promised opens, you will walk through, not in fear, but with confidence, not because you're capable in yourself, but because you've been trained in my presence. The things that once made you fall will have no power over you. The wounds that once made you tremble will become testimonies of my healing. And you will not only receive blessing, you will become a vessel of blessing for many others. For the very place where you once bled will now overflow with life. So, beloved child, do not grow weary. Keep walking. Even if your steps still tremble, keep believing. Even if your heart still wrestles with doubt, keep opening your heart. Even if your tears have not yet dried, for I am here. I have never left. I am doing a new thing within you, and it is good, and lasting, and worth waiting for. You are not forgotten. You are being shaped, and you will see. Every word I've spoken is true. Not just a dream, but a reality made for you. For you are my child, and I do not break my promises. My dear one, sit with me for a while. Don't rush forward carrying the weight of old years, still clinging to your heart. I know there are corners within you that you've hidden away not to deceive, but because you didn't believe you were brave enough to face them. Memories, failures, words that wounded, lies you've spoken to yourself that you are unworthy, that you deserve to be left behind. But I have seen it all, and I have not come to shame you. I have come to set you free, not with pressure, but with gentleness, not to expose you to the world, but to bring you into the light of true healing. I will not tear down the doors you've locked tight. I will knock softly, and when you're ready to open, I will step in, slowly, to wipe away old tears and cleanse wounds no one else has dared to touch. You were not made to live with hidden pain, to pretend you're fine while your soul is in turmoil, to smile while breaking inside. No, I did not create you to live that way. I made you to live in freedom, in wholeness, in light, in the gentle peace of a soul that has been healed. You think you've gone too far? Never. My child, no distance can keep me from seeking you. Even if you've turned away, even if you've run, I am one whisper away. You are never too late to come home. No one is too broken to be healed. No one is too stained to be washed clean in my love. You are mine and nothing, no past, no failure, can take that away. I am doing a new thing in you, not a recycled version of past joys, not a better version of your old self, but a deep transformation starting from within, where no one sees, but where I am working. I do not repeat the past, for I am the creator, not a recycler. I am writing a new story, building a new chapter, opening a door you've never seen before. But you cannot walk into the new while still clinging to what has already died. Letting go is not failure. My child, letting go is the bravest act of faith when you place into my hands the things you cannot fix, the burdens you've carried too long, the bitterness you've nursed in silence, the regret for things you wish you could do over, the anger at betrayal, the disappointment from unanswered prayers. All of it, give it to me. Don't try to explain it anymore. Don't hold it like it's part of who you are. Hand it over not only that I may carry it, but that I may redeem it. You cannot begin to imagine how I will turn it all around, but remember this, what the enemy intended to use to destroy you, I will turn into the very fabric of glory. The places where you once felt shame will become the very grounds where you testify. What once brought you to your knees will become the platform from which you rise with authority and strength. The things that once silenced you will become your song. What once seemed worthless will be the vessel I use to pour grace into the lives of others through you. You may not yet see what is unfolding. Everything might still seem blurred, but that does not mean I am idle. Trust me, even when your heart trembles. Step forward not in haste, but in faithfulness. Let me do what I do best, create beauty from ashes. You are not your past. You are not confined by what has happened. You are not defined by who hurt you, nor by the cracks within you. You are defined by my love, a love that does not change, does not fade, and cannot be shaken. Let me rebuild you from the foundation, not with haste, but with steadfastness, not with cover-ups, but with truth. Let me shape you with kindness, with holiness, with mercy. Believe that what lies ahead is greater than what you've left behind, not because you wish it so, but because I am the one who promises, and I do not break my word. I am the one who turns mourning into dancing, ashes into crowns, sin into a story of grace. And my child, I do not need you to understand everything before you begin to walk. I only need you to be willing to place your hand in mine. Start with a whisper, Lord, I am ready to let go. And as you release, you will see lighter, clearer, freer, not because the circumstances change immediately, but because your spirit is lifted from the burden it has carried for so long. You will feel life, not merely survival. You will know what it means to walk in the new. No more fear, no more clinging, only steady trust. You are not merely forgiven, you are restored, not only delivered but anointed to bring healing to others, not just called out of the darkness, but called to be a light. This is what I am doing and will continue to do in you. You only need the courage to let go of what has died, to take hold of what is alive. And that, my child, is me, the one who has loved you, is loving you now, and will never stop loving you. Beloved, don't live as if you are just a speck of dust floating through time. You are not an accident. You are part of an eternal design I conceived before the foundations of the world. Every detail in you, every trait you call different, even the weaknesses you try to hide, are all held within my wisdom. I did not create you to merely survive each day, but to walk with your head held high, knowing you belong to a God who never makes mistakes. You were not made just to exist. You were made to reveal my glory. I've seen how you've lived as though getting by was enough. You've poured your strength into surviving, into holding it all together. But in that striving, you've lost the true meaning of life. You've forgotten that I don't just give life, I give it abundantly. You were not born to simply be okay. You were created to shine not with your own light, but with mine in you. When you live in the purpose I've placed within you, all of heaven rejoices. And when you lift your head in the darkness, you are doing the most glorious thing of all, choosing to trust me above your circumstances. I am the God of beginnings, and I am also the God of new beginnings. The night may be long, but dawn is never absent. I am breathing into your heart a new promise. The things you thought were dead hope, dreams, the vibrancy of your soul, I am calling them to rise again, not by your strength, but by my power. Child, the morning is coming. It may not arrive as a sudden miracle. Budasakiet, undeniable shift. It is the return of faith, the spark in your eyes, the courage to take another step even when the way is not fully clear. Lift up your eyes. My child, don't keep them fixed on your failures, your wounds, or your fears. I am calling you out of the land of doubt and limitation, into the place where my grace is sufficient for each day. When you lift your gaze, you will see the help you've been searching for is not in human promises, not in success, not in anything apart from me. You've waited for me to speak, and now I am speaking with the fullness of a father's heart, not in thunder, but in unwavering truth. You are mine. I have chosen you. I love you, and I do not regret it. I know my love is not a reward for the perfect. It is a gift for those who dare to come with an honest heart. You don't need to chase what has always been yours. That love does not come and go with my moods. It is as steady as my nature, faithful, unchanging, unfading with time. You've tried to prove yourself worthy of being loved, seen, kept. But I never loved you because you were worthy. I loved you because you are mine, and that is unconditional. From the moment I breathed life into your soul, your worth was sealed, not by achievements, recognition, or applause, but by my hand upon your life. You may not be understood, not be chosen by others, even be rejected, but that does not blur the affirmation I've declared. You are my masterpiece. That value does not shift with the world's tides, because it is not defined by their words, but by mine. And my word stands forever. I know you're weary from trying to meet others' expectations. I've seen you trade your truth just to be accepted. Shrink yourself to fit molds you were never made for. But now, pause. Breathe. Be who you are as I created you. No more masks. No more running. No more trying to please. You were chosen not because you were better than others, but because I love you in a way no one else can replace. I have never changed my mind about you. You may have doubted me. You may have wandered. You may have fallen. But not once have I withdrawn my original call. I am still waiting not to condemn, but to embrace. My arms have never closed. All it takes is your return, and that is enough. No rituals, no conditions, no delay. Just one cry, one softened heart, and I will come. And, my child, the most glorious moment is not when you stand on the mountain peak, but when you kneel in the deepest valley and say, I still choose you. That is true faith. That is real light. That is where I begin, something new, not in the noise, but in the secret place, not with chaos, but with certainty. You are not called to chase the light, you were made to carry it, and wherever you go with me, that place will be lit. Believe that your barren season is not the end. It is the pause before a new melody begins. Open your heart to receive the new day I am giving, not as a reward for the flawless, but as a promise to those who dare to believe. Morning has come, my beloved, and I am the light that never fades. I go before you, walk beside you, and wait for you at every finish line. Do not fear anymore. Live fully. Love deeply. Walk boldly. Because you do not walk alone, you walk in me. And that is enough for a life of meaning. My precious one, open your heart to the words flowing from my eternal wisdom. This is not the voice of a fleeting world, nor the echo of fear and doubt, but my breath itself, spoken from an unshakable throne, where nothing happens outside, my sovereign hand. You have asked for wisdom. You have sought peace. You have longed for clarity amid chaos. And now, I come not empty-handed, not with reluctance, but with a love greater than you've ever imagined. You've asked me why some people come and then leave, why some relationships wither just as they bloom, why the ones who once held your hand tightly let go when you needed them most. Your mind searches for answers, and your heart carries the weight of questions left unsaid. But, my child, in every step you take, in every person who enters your life, whether for a moment or for a season, none are outside my providence. No one comes without my permission, and no departure escapes my knowing. Some I send into your life like sunlight, they bring joy, lift you up, awaken new hope. They are my answers to your midnight cries, my reminders that I still hear you. But others come like wild winds, they bring pain, stir doubt, force you to face yourself in the mirror. But don't rush to resent them, for they are tools I use to refine the rough places of your soul. They do not come to destroy you, they come to reveal what must be healed, to help you grow, to teach you to love, even through pain. And forgive, even without an apology. I have used people to teach you about faithfulness, patience, and the limits of your own heart. Some come as a resting place, others as a furnace. Some lift you up, and others test your trust in me. Do not assume that those who bring you joy are blessings and those who bring you pain are failures. Each person is a chapter in the book of your life, written by my own hand. Some chapters shine bright like the sun. Others are stormy and dark, but all are necessary. All serve a purpose, and all carry a meaning far beyond what your eyes can presently see. I want you to learn how to receive people with an open heart, unguarded, yet not dependent. For if you let someone's sweetness make you forget the root of your peace in me, that joy will soon become a chain. And if you let someone's hurt blind you to the goodness I'm still pouring into your life, you will walk forward without seeing the path I've laid out. Stay awake in your spirit. Every person is a mirror. They reflect what you've overcome, what you are still wrestling with, and the areas I am inviting you to heal. You will see that some people come only once to deliver a word and then vanish. Others walk beside you for a season, only to turn away. Some return after a long silence. And there are those you thought would stay forever, yet suddenly leave. Do not be surprised. I am writing a story that is greater than your emotions. Do not cling to those I am leading away. Do not reject those I am bringing in. Every shift, whether gentle or chaotic, is within my will. Evan betrayal, my child. I used to bless, like Judas at the Last Supper, though he betrayed the Lord. He was an indispensable link on the path to the cross. I knew, and still I washed his feet. That is mercy beyond comprehension. And just the same, I am teaching you to love the imperfect, to have compassion even for those who've wounded you, not because you are weak, but because the love within you is being expanded into my likeness. So see your relationships through the light of my wisdom. Do not let your heart grow bitter when someone departs. Do not idolize those who love you. A good person can still hurt you. A complex person can still teach you something precious. I can use anyone as a lesson, a miracle, or a stepping stone. What matters is not who they are, but what you learn and whether you give me the right to shape your soul through them. Above all, my beloved, remember this: no one can take my place in your heart. Others may come to walk alongside you, but I am the only one who stays forever. The love you receive from them, however beautiful, is only a shadow of the love I have for you. People may come and go, but I do not change. I am the unshakable refuge, the steady anchor when all else fades away. Let me be the center of your heart. Do not place your full hope in people, for they too are learning to love. Just as you are, love them with all your heart, but without dependence. Receive them with gratitude, but without expecting from them what they cannot give. And when you are wounded, do not close the door. Bring your hurt to me so I can anoint it, heal it, and use the very thing that caused your pain to bring forth something better. Because I am using everything, even the people I send, to prepare you for a journey only you can walk. That path will not be easy, but it will be glorious. And every person you meet along the way plays a part in shaping the person I've designed you to become. So keep moving forward with the firm belief that no one enters your life by accident. All of it is woven into the loving plan I am writing uniquely for you, a plan that cannot fail. Because you are mine, and I never lose what belongs to me. My dear one, Listen to me with an open heart, for these words are not theory, they are life. I have not come to calm the surface of the waves. I have come to make you someone who can stand firm amid the raging sea. I do not promise the waters will always be calm, but I promise you will not drown. For I am not raising someone fragile in the face of change, but a warrior steady, faithful, unshakable, and firmly anchored in me. You asked me about those who have come and gone, and I see every silent question in your heart, where disappointment was never named. Some came like brilliant sunlight, only to disappear like twilight shadows. Some seemed sent to love you, yet left you wounded. Some you thought were lifelong companions, but turned out to walk with you for only a stretch. And you ask, why? Lord, I hear every sigh, and I reply, because you are learning, not how to cling, but how to discern, how to trust me, how to let me be the one who decides who stays and who must go. Some of the people I bring into your life are part of your calling. They don't just come to encourage you, but to help build what I've conceived. They don't need to speak much, for you will sense my spirit in them: gentleness, faithfulness, and reverence for me. They do not compete, do not take over, do not pressure you to become what you are not. Instead, they lift you up, draw out the good, and help you see the bigger vision beyond yourself. These are the ones you must recognize and treasure with gratitude and humility. Do not let the ways of the world cause you to lose sacred connections. Do not walk with someone only when things go well. Learn to be faithful in trials, patient in disagreements, and loving in conflict. For I do not only call you to live rightly, I call you to live like me. Keep your heart pure in communication, your spirit tender in dialogue, and your reverence evident in how you treat others. True friendship is not built on feelings, but on truth, and relationships built on the foundation of truth do not easily crumble. Yet there will also be those I take away, not because they are bad, not because you are wrong, but because that season has passed. Every season has its reason, and not all relationships are meant to last forever. Some come to fulfill a part of the work in your life, and when that part is complete, they must leave. I never take something away without having something greater ahead. But you must learn to let go. Let go in faith, not in bitterness. Let go in obedience, not in torment. You may not understand why a seemingly divine connection would fall apart. You may feel betrayed, abandoned, or misunderstood. But know this: I see what you cannot. I know what you cannot predict, and I never remove something from your life by accident. Every pruning is part of the process. I am the good gardener, and I know which branches must be cut for the tree to grow strong. Do not resist my hand, even when it hurts. Trust me, for this pain is not for destruction, but for refinement. Some endings might feel like loss, but in truth, they are the beginning of something new. You cannot hold on to the old and expect me to pour in the new. A full cup cannot receive more. A hand clinging tightly cannot open to receive. So, my child, be brave enough to release, not because you don't cherish what was, but because you trust me more than your emotions. You believe that the one who began a good work in you will complete it whether others stay or go. The holiness of a relationship is not measured by its length, but by my presence in it. Some may appear only for a season, yet leave a mark that lasts a lifetime. Some you thought were temporary, I will use to bring lasting transformation. And some I must take away so that you will learn your worth does not rest in who stays, but in the one to whom you belong. You do not need to lose yourself to hold on to something I am removing. I never lead you into lack whenever I take something. I am making room for something greater, kinder, and deeper. So, my beloved, let me be the one who shapes the relationships in your life. Let me arrange who should stay and who must leave. Do not panic when what you thought was forever comes to an end. And do not be surprised when I bring someone new, not as a replacement, but as part of a new chapter I am unfolding for you. I am the author of seasons, and I am also the one who changes them. When you walk with me, you will not be trapped in an old one. I am training you to become deep, not easily wounded, to live with mercy, but also with discernment, to love sincerely, but without becoming entangled in the ways the world loves. Every time you allow me to cut away something in your life that no longer bears fruit, you are learning to trust me above your feelings. And each time you choose surrender over control, you are drawing closer to the fullness of life I have ordained for you. I do not promise that no one will ever hurt you, but I do promise that no pain will be meaningless when placed in my hands. Every tear you shed, I count. Every time your heart breaks, I remember. And then, I gather every fragment, every memory, every disappointment, to shape you into someone strong, compassionate, and full of purpose. Do not fear loss. Fear instead remaining in what is no longer my will. I did not create you to be imprisoned by relationships, but to live freely in the union I have chosen for you. Be strong, my beloved. Let me lead you, even in relationships, and you will see that each person I place in or remove from your life is serving a greater purpose than you can yet understand. Nothing is random in my hands. Only purpose, only love, and only one perfect plan being woven together for your eternal good. And I will never, not even for a single moment, take my eyes off you, for you are mine, and that will never change. My beloved, do not hold someone's hand so tightly that you let go of mine. Some relationships you thought would last forever may unexpectedly fall apart as if they never existed. There are people to whom you gave your whole heart, only to be met with silence, abandonment, even betrayal. You sit alone, cradling questions with no answers. Why did they do this? Where did I go wrong? Am I not good enough? And I see every quiet tear that falls unseen. I know every muffled sob in the night. I hear clearly. You are not alone in that pain. You often think that if you're good enough, faithful enough, sacrificial enough, someone will stay and love you the way you love them. But my child, human love, even when sincere, is still only a shadow of mine. That love is easily swayed by emotion, by unhealed wounds, by limited perspective. Some may not be able to love you fully, not because you are unworthy, but because they lack the depth to reach where you are. And I allow these things not to wound you, but to teach you a precious lesson. True love begins in me, and only in me will you be loved rightly. Don't let someone's leaving make you forget who stayed. I never left. I am the one still standing where you last walked away, patient, without blame, simply waiting for you to take my hand again. I am not discouraged when you revisit old wounds. I am not tired of your slowness to forgive or move on. I do not withdraw my love when you feel weak. On the contrary, I rejoice in every step you take, however small, because my love is not measured by speed, but by presence, and I am always present with you. If someone fails to see your worth, it does not make you less valuable. If someone chooses to leave, it does not mean you deserve to be abandoned. If a relationship breaks, it does not prove you are incapable of love or unworthy of being loved. My child, your worth is not measured by the reactions of people, but by the life I gave to redeem you. You are valuable, not because others affirm it, but because I have called you mine. And once I have called you, no one can undo it. I know how easily your heart is moved by the approval of others. A single compliment brightens your day. While one criticism silences you for a week, you begin adjusting your behavior, your words, your expression, just to be loved, seen, accepted. But my child, when you live for acceptance, you are trading away your identity. I did not create you to conform to the world. I called you out to live in the freedom of a child of God. And that freedom begins when you understand your identity does not lie in how others see you, but in how I do. I know there are relationships that once were good, but now it is time to close them. Not because they weren't meaningful, but because they are no longer right. I do not let anything slip from your hands without reason. Every goodbye, every silence, every wound, I use as a refining tool. I am peeling away unhealthy attachments, validation needs, and fear of abandonment to lead you back to the true source of love, me. My love does not shift based on your performance. I love you not because you are always right, but because you are mine. My love is not conditional upon your knowledge, your appearance, or your spiritual achievements. My love is an anointed love, healing, restoring, and making you new. And before I surround you with those who reflect that love, I must teach you to recognize my love first. Because if you don't, you will keep seeking from people what only I can give, and it will break you all over again. So lift your head. Do not let your heart depend on someone who doesn't know how to protect it. Do not let temporary emptiness steer your soul. Anchor your heart in me, in the place of safety, unchanging and secure. When you place your hopes in others, you will crumble when they let you down. But when your identity is rooted in me, you will stand firm even when the world turns away. I am your steadfast anchor in the storm. I am the light in your darkest night. I am the Father, the one who saw you from the beginning, and who loves you to the very end. Let me define you, not the pain, not the one who left, not the memories or the expectations of others, but me. You are the one I called by name, the child I chose from your mother's womb, my beloved, loved with an everlasting love, preserved by unending grace. And if you walk with that belief, you will no longer need someone else's validation, because you will know I have chosen you, called you, and still hold you fast, no matter who comes or goes. My beloved, sit with me in the stillness of this moment. I know how much you've been through, the weight, the wounds, the times forgotten and misunderstood, until your heart no longer wants to open again. You loved with all your heart, but were turned away. You gave generously, yet were met with silence. You served faithfully, but no one acknowledged it. And deep down, you began to wonder, does any of this even matter? Is it worth it to keep loving, giving, serving, when no one sees, no one responds? But my child, you are learning a profound lesson, to love as Christ has loved. without strings, without demands, without calculating a return. I did not call you to love in order to be loved, to give in order to be repaid, to serve in order to be praised. I called you to walk a different path, the path of true freedom, where love is no longer driven by emotions or others' reactions, but by the unconditional love I've placed within you. This is not a fragile love. It is the love that went to the cross, not for applause, but for obedience to the end. When you learn to love without demand, you are becoming more like me. When you give without needing thanks, you are stepping into the depth of grace. When you serve with joy, even unseen, you are being filled by my Spirit. You no longer live like one who borrows, needing affirmation, approval, or agreement to feel worthy. You are living like one who gives, whose life flows from me, through you, continually, without lack. That is freedom, and the world did not give it, so the world cannot take it away. I know there are times you are misunderstood, misused, pushed aside. It hurts, yes. You are human, and I too once bore fragile flesh like yours. I too was rejected, accused by those I loved, left alone in my darkest hour. But it was in those moments that my glory was revealed. And so it will be with you. When the world forgets you, heaven remembers. When they remove you from the place they once gave, I will place you where no one can take away what others see as the end. I will make the beginning of something new, holy, and deeper than ever before. Your future is not limited by those who once turned their backs on you. Your destiny is not held in the hands of anyone who spoke hurtful words. They do not write your story, I do. And I do not write with human ink, but with love, mercy, and eternal purpose in every line. I have seen every betrayal you endured, and I have also seen how you refused to let bitterness take root in your heart. That very choice is evidence. You are growing in grace. You are learning not to let pain define you, but to allow me to refine you through it all. You will not fall, not because you are strong, but because I am the one who holds you steady. You will rise not with a heart full of vengeance, but with hands full of blessing. You will continue walking not to prove anything to anyone, but because you know whose you are. I am turning the desolate places within you into sacred ground. I am breathing life into what once was only ashes. You do not need the approval of others to keep moving forward, because my approval is enough. When I declared, "You are my beloved child. In you I am well pleased," that is what establishes your identity. Nothing more, nothing less. Bless those who have spoken ill of you, for that blessing will first bring healing to your own heart. Pray for those who have hurt you, not because they deserve it, but because you have been forgiven. Respond to coldness with kindness, to disdain with faithfulness, to hardness with gentleness, not because you are weak, but because you have been filled with strength from my Spirit. No one can live this way unless I am within them. And you are bearing my image more clearly with each passing day. When you live like this, you become a dwelling place for peace, not a fragile peace, but one that flows from the unchanging one. You will no longer live according to fleeting feelings, the opinions of others, or gains and losses. You will live by faith, a faith that is unshakable, unfading, and unwavering through the years. And when others see you, they will sense something different, a gentleness that is powerful, a love that is unentangled, a freedom saturated with grace. That is the power of my Spirit in you, not arriving through force, but through quiet transformation, day by day. I am engraving within you a new way of life, not like the world, not like man, but like me. And one day, when you look back, you will smile, not because everything was smooth, but because I used every moment, even the broken ones, to shape you into who you were always meant to become. Keep going gently, like one who has been set free, steadily, like one who has been restored, lovingly, like one who was first loved. And I will be with you as I always have, until the very end. Not 1 second apart, not one day where I cease to work within you. And that love, the love of a father, will remain the one thing no one can ever take from your life. For you are mine, and I am yours, fully, forever. My beloved child, let my words sink deep into your heart like dew into dry ground. What I am about to say does not come from fleeting emotion, but from the unwavering will of the infinitely wise One. I know there are people you want to keep by your side forever, those you love, are bonded to, trust deeply, and even believe you cannot go on without. But my child, some souls are only meant to journey with you for a season along this long road. And the heartbreaking yet necessary truth you must accept is this: not everyone walking with you today is meant to walk with you to the final destination I have planned. Some people I brought to help heal a part of your past. Some came to open a door. Some were there to prepare the way, but they are not the ones who will enter the promise with you. The danger is when you begin to place permanent expectations on something that was only meant for a season. I do not want you to carry emotional weights that do not belong to your future. Don't drag someone into a gate I never called them to. Doing so will not only exhaust you, but blur your spiritual vision. You've asked why someone once close, loving, and understanding has suddenly changed, grown distant, cold, or even turned away. You don't understand the reason. You blame yourself. You're haunted by questions like, did I do something wrong? Or, if I had just tried a little harder, would they have stayed? But my child, a heart that keeps clinging to what I've asked to be released will eventually lose its peace. What drains you is not the loss. It's the refusal to accept that the season has changed. If they were meant to stay, you wouldn't have to strive to keep them. They would walk with you naturally because they would recognize my voice in the path you're on. But if they cannot hear me, cannot walk in the same vision, cannot embrace what I am doing in you, then I, myself, will gently remove them from your hand. Not because I am cruel, but because I am kind. I know what will harm you in the long run, and I love you enough to intervene. Do not rush to fill the emptiness with relationships born from need, not from divine design. Loneliness will not destroy you, but choosing the wrong person can derail you. Some relationships are temporary, yet they consume your entire mind and soul. Some people you let in bring comparison, wounds, and control, and completely drown out my voice. I don't want that. I want you to learn to rest, even when no one walks beside you. For in the stillness, I speak the deepest truths. In solitude, I am sculpting your soul to reflect my light more clearly. Do not fear the quiet. It is not as frightening as you think. It is not a sign of abandonment. It is sacred space where I teach you things that only silence can convey. I don't want you merely to stay busy. I want you to truly live, not rushing to fill the gaps, but learning to sit and listen. And in those moments that seem meaningless when you have no one to talk to, nowhere to go, I will meet you. And then you will learn the most precious truth. I am enough. I am your first and final companion, who never leaves you. You may not see anyone coming right now, but don't worry. I am preparing them one by one, just as I am preparing you. They will not be late. They will not arrive at the wrong time. They will come when both you and they are ready. Not by your calendar, but by my divine timing. And when you meet them, you will know this was not coincidence. But divin arrangement. A connection not born out of need, but out of wholeness. They won't come to fill a void, but to align with your heart. They won't come to control you, but to walk with you in obedience to a heavenly call. I am preparing new relationships, not built on fleeting attraction, but on the firm foundation of truth. They will see you not through the lens of success, status, or performance, but through the true worth within you. They will not compete with you, but uplift you. They will not exhaust you, but bring you rest. They will not merely say what you want to hear, but what you need to hear with love and humility. And that, my child, is the gift I give, not to be replaced. Not from man, but from my grace. So if you find yourself alone right now, know this: it is not emptiness, it is preparation. If the old companions have left, do not cling. If no one new has arrived, do not panic. I am writing a new chapter, and this chapter needs space. Space for me to place the right people into. Let me do it. Trust that I never make mistakes. Stand firm in this season of solitude, for it is there that you are being prepared in the best way to receive what is lasting. Let this season complete its sacred work. Do not cut short the process just because of fleeting emotions. Depth does not come in a rush. Strong bonds do not flourish in haste. But patient, be faithful, and keep your heart wide open. For the day will come, the day you will look back and say, "Thank you, Father, for not letting me hold on to what was never mine." And I will smile, because you've learned one of the most important lessons on the path of maturity: to love, but also to let go. My beloved child, as you walk this road called life, don't wait for everything to be perfect before you truly live. I didn't create you to merely exist in times of ease or abundance. I created you to live, to truly live, with every breath, every day, every moment, through the many shades of challenge, of hope, and of faithfulness. As long as today is being given to you, make it meaningful. Don't let what has not yet come steal the gratitude for what already is. Do your current work with all your heart, not for the approval of people, but as if you are doing it for me. Don't wait until you feel successful to begin being faithful. Faithfulness is not the end goal. It is the foundation of all things. I am not looking for those who shine. I am looking for those who quietly sow without needing praise. Those who keep walking even when they see no results. Those who keep their hearts upright in the chaos of the world. I see you, and not a single act done in my name is meaningless. And when you love, you don't love with calculation. Love with sincerity, expecting nothing in return. Love because you bear my nature, which is unconditional love. You don't know which heart is yearning for a hug, a word of encouragement, a simple act of kindness from you. This world doesn't lack achievements, it lacks compassion. When you love the way I love, you are sowing eternal seeds. even if you never see the harvest, but I do. Don't live your life waiting until everything is all right to finally smile. True joy doesn't come from external conditions, but from my presence within. I am your joy, an unending fountain. No matter the circumstances, let my name be lifted not only in times of hardship, but also in moments of peace and ordinariness. Whether you are cooking, working, studying, or simply sitting in silence, let your lips whisper, my name. My name not only rescues you from the pit, it lifts you from weariness, anchors your heart, and reminds you, you are never alone. I know there are days when every sound outside seems to crash into your mind, voices demanding, comparing, criticizing, expecting, and sometimes you lose touch with your own heart. In that chaos, come to me. Hide in the refuge of my presence, where you don't have to try. Don't have to hold it all together. I don't have to prove anything. I've seen it all, and I still chose to love you. You don't need labels. You don't need to pretend to be capable or perfect to gain my approval. My approval does not come from what you do. It comes from who you belong to. If you are seeking recognition, remember, my eyes saw you before anyone knew you existed. If you wonder whether you are worthy, know this: my love is not measured by performance, but by my faithful presence in every breath you take. I am enough, and because I am enough, you don't need to chase anything else to define yourself. You are overthinking. My child, your thoughts are tangled like a ball of thread, endlessly pulled, never untangled. It's draining you, robbing your sleep, making you doubt even what I've already spoken. But do you know, this isn't thinking, this is being held captive by worry. And worry doesn't make you wiser, it only drains your vitality. It's a silent thief that steals your joy, blurs your vision, and convinces you everything is beyond your reach. So choose another way. Sight down. Take a deep breath. And instead of running another loop of overthinking, open your mouth and speak my word. Declare that I am faithful, that I will never forsake you, that I make a way where there is none. Say it, even if you don't feel it, because faith doesn't require feelings, it only requires belief. And when you begin to speak what is true, what is false will slowly fade. Each word of faith is a stone tossed into the water, at first just a ripple, but it spreads. Keep speaking. You are my protector. You are the one who never breaks a promise. You are my provider, my refuge, my fortress. Say it until your heart listens, until your mind stops wrestling, because truth has the power to heal, and the truth is me. You cannot be both anxious and at peace. No ship can be guided by two winds, so you must choose. Choose to hold on to fear, or choose to trust. Choose to live in uncertainty, or in promises. Choose to hear the world's voice, or mine. And when you choose me, you choose peace. Not the kind of peace that comes from the absence of trouble, but the kind that comes from my presence within the trouble. And you will know this: nothing can shake the one whose faith is placed in me. No circumstance, no person, no voice can unseat the one who lives rooted in eternal truth. I am your stronghold, your unshakable foundation, your anchor when everything else slips away. You are not defined by results. You are defined by your relationship with me. So rise. Do not bow to fear. Do not make room for threatening voices. Lift your face. For you are my child of the Most High, the faithful one, the infinite one, and when you choose me, you have chosen the better part. I am enough for you today, tomorrow, and forever. My beloved one, lay that heavy burden down and let me carry what you cannot. There are things beyond your control, I know. There are relationships, misunderstandings, hidden wounds that you don't know how to handle. But you weren't made to handle everything alone. I don't ask you to always know the way, or be wise enough, or strong enough. I am the Father, your refuge, the one still holding the helm of your life when storms rise, when you are misunderstood, when your words are twisted, when your goodwill is met with indifference or mockery. You don't have to defend yourself. I will do it for you. I will stand for you when you are silent. I will speak for you when you choose not to argue. I do not overlook the harsh words you've swallowed in silence. Nothing you endure for, my name is wasted. I see it all, and I will restore it all. Not through revenge, but through quiet, powerful glory. You once believed some things could never be healed, but I am the one who restores what others have written off, thrown away, or forgotten. The wound is not the end, it's the beginning, and I do not heal on the surface. I go deep, to the very root of your pain, to the place you're afraid to open. I touch the cracks in your soul not to hurt you more, but to cleanse, bandage, and anoint with the oil of grace. You no longer need to hide, no longer need to cover it up. You only need to open your heart. I will take care of the rest. Even when you feel lost, unsure which way to turn, stumbling between crossroads, I am still there, behind you, beside you, and before you. I am not lost when you are lost. I am not shaken when you are confused. I am the way. I am the light on the path. And I am the one holding your hand with every step, even when your eyes cannot see ahead. So pause within your soul. Take a deep breath. And remember, you are not alone. I know you long for companions, those who understand, support, and walk with you. I promise to bring such people into your life. Not everyone will stay, but the ones essential to your journey will come. I will send people who reflect my heart, those who speak truth in love, who love without condition, who bring peace just by being present. They are not replacements for me, but gifts from me to show you how beautifully my love can flow through human hearts. But I will also allow you to meet difficult people, those who challenge you, who make you face yourself, not to harm you, but to mature you. They are mirrors of the parts you must let go of: pride, ego, hidden fears. Don't reject them. Don't shut your heart too quickly. Learn from everyone, those you treasure, and even those who hurt you. No one enters your life without my permission, and if I allow it, know that I am using it to shape you more into my image. You thought you were alone, but the truth is, you have never been alone. Not when you sat in silence in a dark room. Not when you smiled to hide your tears. Not when you walked among the crowds feeling empty. I was there, in every quiet moment. In every time you thought no one understood. I was in the laughter, lifting you up. I was in the tears, wiping them away. I was in the triumph, and I was in the failure, whispering, I'm still here. You don't need to wait until everything is stable to move forward. You don't need to wait until your heart feels strong enough to keep going. Just walk, not by feeling, but by faith. Walk, not because you're certain, but because you trust the one who never breaks a promise. Walk, not in confusion, but in confidence that even in your weakest moments, I am holding you. You are not abandoned to fate. You are being led. You are not left to chance. You are being covered. Each day, each moment, every time you open your weary eyes, I am there. Each night, when you rest your hand upon your forehead, sighing, not knowing what to pray, I am there too. There is never a time you call that I do not listen. Never a moment of your pain that does not stir my heart. Not one of your sighs drifts into the void, each one reaches me. I am your father and I care for you, not out of obligation, but through covenant, not because of what you achieve, but because of my unchanging love for you. So then, my beloved child, keep walking, even if your steps tremble, even if doubt lingers in your heart. Walk not in fear, but in faith, faith in the one who has gone before you, who walks beside you now, and who will welcome you at the end of the road. Walk with confidence, not because all is clear, but because you know you are being held. Press forward with steadfastness, not because you are strong, but because I am the rock that cannot be shaken. You are being led. You are being protected. You are being loved deeply, completely, and eternally. And all things, yes, all things will be well. Not because you have control, but because I am working all things together for your good. Now, my dear child, turn your heart toward me and lift up a prayer unhidden, unrestrained. Speak to me with the fullness of your truth. I am listening. O Almighty and merciful God, I have lived too long in the shadow of fear, with wounds unhealed. I've carried those broken pieces as though they were part of who I am. But today, I no longer wish to live this way. Lord, step into the dark rooms of my soul, places I've never dared open to anyone, and bring your light. I no longer want to live guarded, on the defensive. Break every chain that binds me, and help me live in the freedom that only your Holy Spirit can give. Loving Father, you who knew me, even in my mother's womb, I've spent so much of my life chasing the approval of others, weary from seeking validation, heartbroken from rejection. But today, I long to live under your gaze instead. Teach me to love without expecting anything in return, to serve without seeking reward, to give without holding anything back. Fill me with your unconditional love, so I may love as you have loved. Faithful God, who is never late, I have often looked back on the past with regret for what was lost, but I no longer want to live looking backward. I want to step into the new things you are preparing for me. Help me release bitterness. Lay down the burdens I've carried for far too long. Replace my regrets with hope, and my anger with grace. Teach me to walk lightly because you are walking with me. My precious Lord, I thank you for never abandoning me, even in the moments I turned away from myself. Thank you for lifting me from the lowest place, for drying my tears with your unconditional love. I thank you that even when no one chose me, you called my name among countless souls. In you, I have found myself again. In you, I know I am loved wholly and forever. Lord Jesus, the one who bore every misunderstanding so I could walk in clarity, I thank you for a love that does not fade with time, nor waver with my mistakes. Thank you for giving me a new name, not failure, but chosen. I thank you even for those who walked away. For through their leaving, you drew me closer to the Father. I offer this prayer in the holy name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so that together we can build a strong and thriving faith community.